Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is early in the morning. I took me a nap Sunday afternoon once I got home, um, and just relaxing. I ended up taking uh, a nap that went on into the evening. I got up, started doing some things and watching movies and talking on the phone, and I said, you know what? I'm up. Gonna spend some little time in reading, but I'm trying to enjoy my last week of not having to go and um, deal with any kids right now. If you can push the like button, hopefully the people that are in the bushes or some people that support me, and not trying to figure out am I talking about anybody today. But if you, hey, hey, Derek, hey, Black Ubiquity. Yeah, I took a afternoon nap and it went on until 10 o'clock. So I am up and alert. And somebody that I know personally, and it's not me, um, actually, someone in my family. And I was not aware that this family member was struggling with some issues of depression. Um, if you look at people, sometimes you can't really tell. One thing about human beings, we can really put on a mask. We can really put on a show, and what we look on the outside, it might be the very opposite of actually what's going on. It's people that are closest to you, and it may even be you that struggle with certain things, and you struggle in the dark. Basically, you don't let everybody know, and you shouldn't let everybody know what you're going through, because some people will take it and they will use it against you. But some of the people that you can trust to an extent, some people that you have shared things with and they never gotten out, some people that actually love you and care for you, and not just say that in word, but actually in their actions they've shown you. Hey, Outlaw, how are you? And when you have those type of people in your life, or if you just have one person like that, that's a blessing. Pity people that look good on the outside sometimes are the people that actually struggle. Hey, young Riz, with depression. They struggle with suicidal thoughts. They struggle with just wanting to wake up and move about and get outside of their home. If you've noticed in the past, I would say maybe three, well, I'm gonna say 4 years, maybe since the pandemic, how when we had the C-19, people were forced to be at home a lot, and the only place that they could go maybe was to get some groceries or maybe to work. But most of the time, people were forced to even work and stay at home. And some people have gotten into the mode of being at home all the time, and they don't want to be out amongst people. Um, I'm an introvert myself. I like being around people to an extent, and when I do, I have a great time. But I always recharge when I'm by myself. That's just how I operate as an introvert. But I can be both. But I believe I'm more dominant as an introvert than a extrovert. But as I have, uh, hey SBK, hey Shay, I didn't know people were still up. I thought I was just gonna be in here with two people, maybe. But as you go through life, you figure out everything that looks good is not always good. There is able-bodied people that look good on the outside. To you, they may have it going on, but you don't know how people be struggling internally um, with the things that they're dealing with. And as I talk about it, yeah, as I talk about it, I think about like I said, that relative that looks so good on the outside. I mean, he has. If I was to you know observe, I would think that he would be a confident, outgoing, moving and shaking, just doing things in life and having a lot of motion. I would have never thought that this person struggles to even want to get out the bed. I would have no idea that this person felt stuck in their life. There's people dealing with a lot of issues, and sometimes, even with trying to think positive and maybe saying a scripture every now and then, or sometimes, some people go to the mosque, or they go to church, and they try to cover it away, or they try to sleep it away. They try to have sex it away. They try to drink it away. And the problem is still there. The problems are still there. That ongoing thought of, I just don't want to be here anymore. And I spoke about that a few months ago. I did a live talking about how people really need to deal with their mental health. And if you look on any type of social media, it's more people than you think struggle with mental health issues. Instagram models, athletes, celebrities, um, just your regular Joe Blow, just somebody that is moving and shaking, making six figures, and multimillionaires. Everybody in the world, in some type of capacity, deals with some type of issues. Some things are internal; they're not always external. You can't always see when people are mentally ill. Some people hide it well. Some people, you would never imagine, that has issues going on in their life. And to be honest, if we look in all of our lives, there's something going on. There's an undercurrent of issues that we have, that make us feel, or make us operate in a way that is dysfunctional, right? So the thing about it is that I'm learning as I get older is not to lie about it. Now, that doesn't mean you can't tell everybody about your problems, because that's unsafe. Everybody is not worth, and everybody is not safe enough to just tell people your personal situations, right? But there's some people that, actually you could tell something too. And like I said, a lot of people are not aware of the different programs that actually people have, that, suicide hotlines, and even if you're not suicidal, you can just give up in life. It was a guy that I went to elementary school with. He came from a low income household, like many of us have came from. Um, he lived with his single mother, brothers and sisters. He had a couple of uncles around, but pretty much was, you know, came from a rough part of town, and had a pretty, maybe, difficult childhood, right? And he ended up, graduating from high school. He tried to make a life for himself and get out of the rut he was in. And he ended up getting married, and to the love of his life. And she ended up getting cancer. of some sort. I don't know the diagnosis. I just knew it was as far as like what type of cancer, but it was cancer. She ended up passing, and he didn't unalive himself, but he gave up. He stopped just, taking care of himself, and eventually he passed as well. Sometimes people that don't deal with their depression and they just give up. Sometimes people die of a broken heart. And it's not always losing someone you love. Sometimes it's just um, the life that you dreamed of. Sometimes that dream seems like it's already dead. And most people sometimes, like I said, sometimes a hope deferred makes the heart sick. Basically, when you've waited and you've hoped for something so long, and then when you finally get it, or if you never get it, it can really break your heart. And that can lead into depression, and that could lead into giving up, and where you just waste away. Um, real Hey, Uncle L, real life is happening whether you admit to it or not. Real people have real issues going on that they probably won't ever speak on publicly, which is good sometimes because it keeps you from too many people distorting the things that you've been through for something evil. But there has to be somebody that you can talk to. There has to be somebody you can talk to, even if it's not somebody as far as your family member or a friend. You might have to go outside and get the mental health that you need. I The reason why I was talking about this because I just want to tell people, if you are feeling ways where you feel like life is not worth moving forward, is life is not worth living, I'm just going to encourage you. Don't give into the temptation to give up. That could be the worst mistake that you could ever do, is to give up on yourself. I was always taught, don't give up on yourself. Give yourself a fighting chance. When I was going through my preteens and teens, growing up, you have hormonal changes. You go through a lot, and then sometimes your relationship with your parents shift, right? Because you're a teenager, you think you know everything, and know nothing. And sometimes you go through certain things, and you react to certain things that might shouldn't have, and sometimes in life you make some decisions. And I remember I had a mentor who said, Selena, you got to give yourself a fighting chance. If you give up too soon, you'll miss out on some of the greatest blessings and the greatest opportunities. And to some people, it may sound like a Hallmark card or an Instagram quote that people use all the time. But you never know what you might be giving up if you just give up on life. And giving up on life is not always taking your life. Giving up on life is that you just stop wanting to live. You just go through the motions. You do a lot of damage to yourself by getting into behaviors that can be actually damaging to your health and your mental health and your emotional health. A lot of people become alcoholics. A lot of people become sex addicts. A lot of people just get in all types of weird stuff because they don't have an outlet. They don't know what to do, you know. And I'm not gonna tell you to just pray about it because, to be honest with you, sometimes you can't pray your hurt away. A lot of times you just have to face the trauma that happened to you. And I think about the cousin that I'm telling you about. Something happened to him when he was 12 years old. Trauma sets up issues in your life, sometimes long term issues in your life, and you have to um, somehow find a way to deal with it when you get older. And sometimes your parents or your parent or your guardian don't know how to deal with it because maybe they haven't dealt with their trauma. So something happened to him when he was 12 that allowed a lot of different, hey Kevin, a lot of different things to make him go down the downward spiral of depression. Um, and that's unfortunate. And as now as he's getting in, if he, in his 50s, he's trying to deal with it, but it's fighting him more than he's actually succeeding, that he's actually getting through it. And that's why, like I said, we have to stop putting band-aids on our trauma. People put band-aids on their trauma. Well, I'm gonna say some good scriptures and I'm gonna speak positive, and that's all great. That's all wonderful. But at the end of the day, there's some things that you're just going to have to deal with. You're going to have to face. It's a part of being um, a grown up. You have to not run from your issues and face them head on. Whether it causes you to have to get counseling, whether it causes you to face your abuser, someone that maybe have molested you, someone that has hurt you, abused you any kind of way, it might take you to face that person. And if you can't face that person, it just will have you to face your feelings, face what happened to you, and not act like it didn't happen. See, a lot of times people go into depression because they want to act like it didn't happen when it did. Because you had people that were supposed to love you that ignored it or act like it didn't happen when very well it did. So, a part of being an adult, a part of learning how to maneuver in life is to actually admit what has happened to you, how it made you feel. But after you've done that, you can't stay there. Hey, writers, you can't stay there. You have to find a way to make steps or get someone to help you to facilitate some steps in your life to help you accomplish your goals. This the person I'm talking about, he said he never finished what he started. And when you know some things about yourself that is causing you to keep going down a downward way, a downward spiral, you start to see, okay, let me find something that I can accomplish and let me stick to it. Let me be determined to stick to it. I used to be that person where I would start um, different things, assignments, or different goals in my life where I didn't go through with it. I would always stop or find an excuse. Oh, well, it maybe ain't my time. Until I had to admit to myself, you are you go into a lot of different avenues. You try to do a lot of different things, but you accomplish none. And it's a saying. I don't know all the complete saying, but the jack of all trades, but the finisher of none. I don't know if that's the correct idiom how it said, but um, I was I was good at a lot of different things, but I didn't complete, when I started what I, sought out to do, until I had to admit to myself I was starting projects, I was starting situations that I didn't complete, and I had to hold myself accountable for it. And once I held myself accountable for it and saw that I wasn't completing, I started out with little small goals. And once I started out with those small goals and I started to complete those things, it started to make me feel better about myself. It started to make me realize that I have more determination than I thought I had. That I actually had the strength to do what that I sought out to do, and I accomplished it. Right. But if I never took accountability for my shortcomings of starting things and not completing it, then I would not be where I am. I would still be starting things and not completing it. And in turn, that affects my self esteem. That affects how my self image and how I see myself. So once you realize those things, you start to work on it a little bit at a time. You can't, when you know you got big issues, you can't do everything at once. You got to find something that you can do and find something that you can try to complete it. And once you complete it, you will start seeing how much better you will feel about yourself. That you will be able to accomplish even the bigger things that you sought out to do. And that's kind of how I maneuvered my way through it. Besides getting counseling, besides having a great support system, you have to make yourself accountable and acknowledge what you've been through and your downfalls and your flaws, and see what can you do to make your situation better. And start with something very small. Do you know some people when that I'm gonna just say this, some people that have issues with losing weight, they make the attempt, when you make the attempt to see, I need to be accountable for gaining weight. Hey, Meek, and they go to the gym. They start to go to the gym 1 or 2 times a week. They start watching what they eat. Then they start building up their endurance and their tolerance of going to the gym, because going to the gym for some people is it's a struggle, right? Then they start going 3, 4 times a week. They start really watching what they eat, their salt intake, drinking more water. Then they start to see a little improvement. They start to see that their weight going down. You know, their waist is going down. Their face is, not too full, and they just start seeing the different changes, even if it's little changes in their life. And then they start to feel good about themselves, where before they were just depressed. They felt like they couldn't do it, but then they realized, I gotta at least try. That's why I say, give yourself a fighting chance. Things in life, Hey, John. Hey, Real Chase. Yeah, I'm a little late. I'm up late. Give yourself a fighting chance. Life is hard, and I ain't gonna lie to you. You got a lot of stuff going on in your life. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life. It's some people just found out they might have breast cancer. It's some people, they loved one just passed. They mama, they daddy, somebody, they child. It's some people that have lost their job and most of their income. You know, it's a lot of things people are going through right now. And then on top of that, you're dealing with something that happened when you was 12 years old and you still can't shake it. And that's why I say, regardless of the things that you have been through and what you're going through present, you have to give yourself a fighting chance and don't give up until it's over. It ain't over until it's over. And that means when they closing that casket, well, first when you start breathing and they put you in the casket, now that's when it's over. Okay. Um But even after that, I believe it's an afterlife. So actually, it's like you keep going. You're just not in this dimension. But while you are here and you have breath in your lungs, your heart is still beating. Even if you don't have suicidal thoughts, you like it's I ain't gonna go that deep. It ain't gonna have no. I ain't gonna unalive myself. You still are living a life where you're just existing, but you're not living. It's the difference with living and existing. More people exist than actually live. When you live, you are enjoying your life. You're doing the best that you can to improve your life. You are enjoying the people that you love around you. You showing love. You doing some things that make you a better person, and you're just thriving. You are not just surviving. You're thriving through life the best way you know how. And when you living, you're just getting up, going to work. You're not happy. You making everybody miserable around you. Or if you're not, you faking and shaking like everything is okay. When you know good and well, when you go to sleep, you crying, you know, or you just really want to be done with this life. And if you had enough guts, you probably would unalive yourself. There's some things that's going on that you're not admitting to yourself, and some things you're just not taking accountability for some of the mistakes that you've made to get you in the position that you're in. Because sometimes the position we in life is not always other people. Sometimes it's the decisions we've made that have caused us to be in the situations we in. And it takes a little bit of you realizing that, and not just realizing that and taking accountability for it, but it also takes where you look at, how can I find a way where I can get out of this rut that I'm in. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I have been in some ruts at times, emotionally. um and those ruts don't feel too good. Actually, you feel stuck. You feel like you're in bondage when you're in those ruts in your life. And hey, 305. And I think what makes me sometimes different from some other people, I strategize. How can I get out of those ruts? What can I do? What can I control at this time in my life that can make my life a little better? So those are the things and the strategies, some of the strategies. Hey, Randy. Yeah, I'm just talking a little bit. I just think of things like that to help me in life. And I really I really want you guys to, if you know somebody or if this person is you, don't um don't give up. Don't give up. And some of the people that you think may have it all together are probably worse off than you are. We all are looking for some help in some type of way. It might not be financial for some, it might be spiritual for some, it may be emotional for some. We all are looking for something. We all are wanting to be heard and be seen and be loved and be taken care of and be wanted, feel wanted. That's a part of being a human. It's nothing to be ashamed of, but you just have to put it in the right perspective. I put a number in the chat for people that are having some thoughts or needing someone to talk to, because some people can't talk to their families, some people can't talk to their friends. some people don't even know what's going on with them. They know they don't feel good. And it's not physically, it's internally. It's something on the inside of them. They don't feel good about their life. And we all have those days. The problem is when you get stuck there for a little too long. That's the problem. So I want to encourage people. A part of me being on my platform, yes, I have my days, and some of y'all have seen it. And I don't mean to bring that up all the time, but one thing about me, I'm not going to be fake. I'm not going to pretend to you that I read a whole bunch of scriptures and I pray everything away. That is not realistic, even though that is a great thing and it's a good start. But living this life, you have to be consistent with your beliefs. Not only do you have to be consistent with your beliefs, you also have to be, do some work behind what you want in your life and what you want to see in your life be done. You know what I'm saying? And and you can't waste it um worrying about um other people all the time and who don't like you, who do like you. First of all, like yourself. Like yourself enough. Love yourself enough to give yourself a chance in this life. Um, People are getting real comfortable with being depressed. And I don't know if it's because they just don't know how to get out of it, or it feels good to have an issue for some people. Because some people, and what I mean by that, some people will use it to gain sympathy and empathy for other people because what they really want is attention, right? What they really want is attention. But then on the flip side of that, there's people that really want to break out of this bondage and this jail of depression that they're in. And they're looking for somebody to show them the way of how to get out of it, how they can make steps to do better in their life, and that would mean that you would have to get out of your comfort zone and actually seek help and seek resources to get out of that rut that you're in emotionally and mentally. Mental health is real. And whether you guys realize it or not, that's why so many people unalive themselves. That's why so many people unalive other people. That's why so many people become alcoholics. They become drug addicts. Um, and believe, weed is natural I'm not saying it's not natural. I don't do it, but some people, they escape by smoking a lot of weed all the time. But then once you smoke that weed and you drink that beer or you drink that wine or whatever you do, your problems are still going to be there. They haven't went away. You'll just have to deal with them tomorrow. Wow, me, that's crazy. And some people don't even know they're depressed because they get up every day and they go to work and they do what needs to be done. They're on a go. Have you ever seen a person that was so depressed they're on a go all the time? I know it's weird, right? You would think they'll just be sleeping all day and hiding in the house, but there's actually functioning depressive people. They're functioning. They're going to work. They're going to school. They're getting on YouTube. They're getting on Instagram and showing everybody how bad they are, right? But they really are depressed. They're going through some things they don't know how to get out of. They're feeling stuck. They're feeling like nothing's going to get better, even though some of them you think they live in the life. That's why I say looks can be deceiving. Never judge a book by its cover. We used to say that our people, that's an ongoing saying that people say all the time, but we still judge a book by its cover instead of opening it up and reading it. But that just takes too much time. You know, most people now, so, you find people so self absorbed and so self centered, they don't even have time to really pay attention when they ask people, how you doing? And before the person can tell you how they doing, well, you looking good. I'll see you later. Well, hey, cutting edge. Well, you asked how a person was doing. Will you take time to hear the response on how that person was actually doing and not just blow it off as if that's just something that you just say, right? To make you seem nice or cordial. So I learned when I ask people how they're doing to actually wait to hear their response, and act like I give a darn, you know what I'm saying? And not act like it, but actually be concerned. Because some people, they may look good, but they might not be doing good. So, hey, IB, you just learn, okay, yeah, for some people, they just learn to be quiet. But, um, sometimes I used to be one of those people that used to be quiet about a lot of stuff when things was eating me up on the inside. So eventually, just shutting up, about everything in your life, it can actually backfire on you. And you take everything so internal, everything's internal where it becomes even more um, that you get yourself into bondage because you're everything is internal. Like you're inward. There, it's nothing can come out. Everything, your feelings, what you've been through, how you feel on everything. It's all kept on the inside. And in actuality, sometimes when it's always turned inward, it really destroys you in the process. So some people keep things inward and they're fine. But sometimes I wonder long term, is that really is that really good? They used to there was some studies back and I'm gonna find those studies about how some people keep a lot of things internal, like whether they struggle with forgiveness or anger. Sometimes that can turn into a illness. It could be cancer, it could be heart disease, it could be a lot of different things because our thought process controls a lot of our being, our bodies, how we move in life. So we have to be careful about and make sure that our thought and our heart, our mind and our heart is really we're dealing with it. We're actually paying attention to how we feel about certain things. When you are dealing with a lot of unforgiveness of yourself, I ain't talking yeah, with others as well, but you deal with a lot of unforgiveness for forgiving yourself for your past mistakes, that's another thing that can lead you into depression. And sometimes keeping it on the inside ain't always helpful. Sometimes really talking to people, again, it does depend on who you are, but I just think that eventually it might come out, but it may come out in another way if you keep it inward all the time. And that's just my opinion. So, yeah, you do seem like an alien because I don't understand that. But no offense to you, you still one of my favorites. But yeah, it is it's a tricky road, at times. Um, and you have to be careful who you tell things to. And people know that. They should know that by now. But you definitely got to be careful who you entrust your heart to, who you tell your personal business, your struggles to, because it can and will be used against you when people mad, you know. So a part of mental health, a part of protecting your peace is watching your circle and watching who you know, trust with your heart. But I wanted to definitely, I don't know if Rachel wants to come up and talk about maybe her struggle or not. I don't know if she's still in the chat or, you know, but I think Rachel has a really good story. I don't know if Meek wants to come up, but just let me know. Or if somebody that hasn't been up on my platform that would like to come up if you ain't too sleepy. But that is just something that I wanted to express to you guys, that just because people look good or they look like they have it all together doesn't mean that they are good. But even in that, I would say give yourself a fighting chance. Don't give up. Take one day at a time, as my grandmother would say, because that's all you can take anyway. And start to find out what you want out of life. And once you find out what you want out of life, and you try to strategize, how do you get to where you want to be? Don't keep making the excuses of, oh, okay. Don't keep making excuses for yourself. Um, Complete what you have started. If it's nothing but going back to school and getting your GED, start to take steps of finding out how you can take your DHG, get study guides so that you can pass your GED, and then go and take the GED. If you fail it the first time, don't give up until you pass it. That's the same thing with losing weight. It's the same thing with um if you are dealing with alcoholism, or you're dealing with drug addiction, make steps to go to those meetings and change your circle, and be around people that actually want the same thing you want, and that is to be in recovery. You have to start somewhere. And you know I just hope that this helps somebody that will listen to it. Like I say, it's not a live that will you know some people will not understand, because some people feel like they are all right. They don't need anything like that. And like, again, this is not for everybody that wants to unalive themselves. This is for people that actually are going through things and they don't feel it's no other way. Um, Young Riaz, I kind of wanted somebody that hasn't, that I know that has been through some of the situations I'm talking about. I know you have dealt with it and you talked about it before, but I was kind of wanting either Mink or Rachel to come up. Okay, you said I had things that happened to me years ago, but I was afraid to tell anyone due to the fact that no one would listen, nor did I trust certain people to talk about that. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's just some people you will not be able to talk to, but they do have different resources where you can talk to someone that can be very objective, um, and that will listen to you, that will also help you to find different ways to accomplish your goals or some of the things that you want to see in your life. Actually, find ways to strategize to get you to those places in your life. There's certified life coaches. There's people, certified counselors, psychotherapists, people that actually are in the health field, mental health field, that can actually help you. There's support groups that people are not aware of, but you have to have a little bit of, um, you know, I would say you have to research. You have to ask, you know, and most people don't have the time for it. They feel like, well, I'll do it the next time. They keep saying they do it the next time. You look up, it's a whole year have passed because you kept putting that off. But in actuality, you're not doing nothing but hurting yourself. You're not doing anything but hurting yourself. Um, but like I say, everybody has to learn their own way. But I want to encourage the people that do struggle, that do try to pretend like everything is okay when it's not. I want to encourage you to get help. Don't go out here bleeding on other people. What I mean by that is when you don't deal with your unchecked drama or trauma and have dealt with what is going on with you in your mental state, in your emotional and all that, you really start to put those issues on other people, not not always knowingly, but because some people won't be real enough to tell you that you need to deal with your stuff. And unfortunately, we have some delusional people that don't even see that their issues spew out on other people. They bleed out on other people. So we have to be more self-aware and emotionally intelligent about um how we affect other people with our issues. Um, you know, it's good to say that you need help and go, get the help. The problem is some people that they know they got issues, but they don't care to get help. They think people just have to deal with it. And that is when you're bleeding on other people, and that's when you become too much where people don't want to fool with you. You know, you said though it took years for me to confront those issues, I couldn't hold on it to it. I couldn't hold on to it forever. Yes, correct. You won't be able to unless you want to unless you want to get on out of here, and I'm talking about off this earth, because eventually it's going to affect your physical health. Like I said, have y'all ever heard of a person dying of a broken heart? And it's not always about somebody that you love that leaves you or that dies. Sometimes you can die of a broken heart by not ever being or accomplishing any of your dreams or having any of your desires. Again, like I told you before, a hope deferred makes the heart sick. And that could be physically. He said, that's interesting because everyone has mental emotional damage. So who is who? Um, Again, it's about people recognizing that they actually have those issues, and seeking help to get it. With me, like I told y'all, if you were here earlier, I said I had a problem with starting things and not finishing it. What I started. It could either be, like me completing a class when I was at my other college. I would start and then I would withdraw, like in the middle, like, in the middle of the semester. Well, that was prolonging my time to actually graduate and get that degree. So once I started going to counseling and I started to see that I had a pattern of starting things and not finishing it, one of my goals were to finish that degree. So I could no longer, because I had made that goal and I saw the cycle that I was in, starting things and not finishing it. I was determined to accomplish that goal and to not withdraw from the classes when things got hard, but to stick through it. And once I stood through it, I ended up graduating with a high GPA because I stood to what I my goal was. And I knew that this was a barrier for me. I knew that if I continued with this cycle, starting things and not completing it, I was going to do that for the rest of my life. So I had to take the initiative and take accountability and see that it's something that maybe I haven't dealt with on the reason why I start things and not complete it. One of the things was I had low self esteem and I didn't think that I could do it. When I knew I was smart in high school and elementary, so I knew I could. There was a part of me that knew I could do it, but I got scared. I got fearful that maybe I couldn't get through college. So at one point, I allowed that fear. Hey, daughter of Zion, I allowed that fear to keep me stagnated. I allowed that fear to paralyze me. And then until I got into counseling, and my counselor asked me, what did I want? Well, how did I want to see my life? And I was telling her the things that I was, what did I want to see? And she said, well, what's keeping you from those things? And she said, let's start off small. What is the things that you can change now? And that was accomplishing going back to college and completing those classes so I could get that degree. So when I set the goal and we made it strategize how I was going to do it, I got with my advisor, seen what I need to do. I even changed my major. I seen the classes that I had to take. Even when it got hard, it got challenging, I stayed with it because my goal was to graduate college and to get that degree. And when I did it, that made me feel so good about myself. And actually, that was the first time that I could say that I was very proud of myself. My family has always been proud of me. They've always, spoke highly of me and encouraged me. But I never felt it myself until I did that one thing. That was something that I wanted to do, and I allowed fear to paralyze me. And then when I said that I was going to take the initiative, that I was going to take accountability, that I knew that this was a barrier, but I was going to stick with it, and I did it, I felt so good about myself. And I could say that was the very first time I was proud of myself. Hey, realist. So that's how I am where I am, because I take little steps. I don't take everything big at once. You can't do that all the time. Sometimes you got to start off small and then you go big. It takes a lot to come on here. And like I said, a lot of things I'm going to be private about because it's nobody's business on here, but there's some things that I will say and tell you because it makes sense with what I'm trying to relate to you. I can't really call myself to be real when I can't really be real with my audience about maybe some of my struggles or some of the things that I have dealt with or seen, right? So I have to somewhat, be transparent enough where you can see that I have some of the same struggles. I'm human just like you. I don't get it right all the time. A lot of you have seen my improvement on here and how I relay my message and how I do my commentary. You've seen some improvements. You've seen how maybe I'm getting a little bit more thicker skin than I had before. Because, like I said, real life and YouTube is a total different beast to me. I can deal with real life, but YouTube and dealing with people on a computer screen behind these computer screens and phones is totally different. So you guys have seen my ups and downs being on here. And then sometimes I will even share some stories with you so that you will know that I'm a work in progress, like you or anybody else that is willing to be worked on. you know, um, I'm not delusional enough to think and to express to you guys that I have it all together, because that would be me lying to myself and to you. And the people that seem like they got it all together and act like can't nobody f with them because they're on this high status and you're down here. Those are the people that you should be real leery about. You know, I'm a realist. If I don't feel it, I'm not going to sit up here and smile and act like everything is okay. Oh, we just got to think positive and we just got to, I can't get into the Joel Osteen kind of thing. I just can't. Everything is not going to be positive and it's not going to feel good all the time. Actually, a lot of the times I just don't understand why certain things are certain ways. Like, how can children, out of all people, small children, get cancer? How can a mother of five, get into a car accident? Like, it's things like that that it just bogs my mind when you got people out here acting a fool, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, you know, taking people's lives, just doing evil stuff, and they seem to live forever. But I'm not the judge. I'm not the final. I'm not the judge. I can't. But it does make me wonder why some people get away with certain things and other people just can't. Like so I have to be real with you guys because that's how I'm with myself. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to myself and act like, oh, everything is wonderful. God is good. Yes, God is good. God is great. But life ain't so good sometimes. Okay. And for me to say otherwise would be disingenuous because that's not how I feel in real life. Like I was telling y'all earlier, sometimes I don't give a damn. And sometimes I do. Um, some things hurt and some things don't hurt. It's just being a human. Um, and I can't be disingenuous and I can't act like I'm this super Christian because that's not true. right? So I don't know. I just don't live in a world, in my world, where I can act like things don't exist when they do. Some things in life you just don't understand. And it's okay with asking those questions. You might not get an answer, but you know, the old people back in the day say you can't question God. Well, that's not in the Bible. So why do you feel like I can question God? I can ask God respectfully. Might not get an answer, but I can still ask. Because I'm still trying to figure out why do good people have to suffer so hard? I haven't seen some good people suffer. When you got people out here doing any and everything, they got it good. They don't have to worry about nothing. So some days, I'm not gonna lie to you, I be feeling away, right? But again, that's part of being human. Um, Not to make an excuse to do and say anything you want to say, but at the same time, I'm not finna sit up here and act like stuff don't exist and that I don't feel like praying or that I don't feel like loving my enemies or that I don't feel like going to work. Like, that's just life, you know? So I know one thing that has got me out of depression a lot of times is admitting to myself my faults, admitting to myself what I feel and what I don't feel. Because you find out if you really talk to people, they're probably feeling the exact same way you're feeling. They just don't say it. I'm kind of one of those when I go out sometimes with my cousins or my friends. I'm one of those friends or that cousin that will always say what everybody is thinking, but nobody wants to say it. I don't so much do it on this platform because we got a lot of hypersensitive people on here, and but then when I have my days when I just don't care, and I know I might lose a couple of subscribers, I'll just go ahead and say it anyway. So if you're gonna unsubscribe, then this would probably be the time when I really get a little, like that kind of mood where I just don't care, and I'm just gonna tell you exactly how I feel about it. But other than that, I'm really one of those type of cousins or friends. I always say stuff what people really feel, and they just don't want to say because they don't want to come off as being rude. So, I'm kind of learning as I'm on social media, just reel it in just a little bit. I can't tell you exactly everything because then you'll be offending a group of people, and people in this day and time, it's a whole cancel culture. I mean, you say one or two things, people will be feeling away. If you say I'm depressed, but then you say you're a Christian, well, how you a Christian? You depressed? Okay, listen. I live in a real world with real issues. Do you know some of the greatest prophets in the Bible were depressed? And I ain't even close to that. People be all kinds of weird stuff they be saying and don't know what the hell they talking about. So yeah, these people, they just be saying stuff. I had this one psychopath come up under my comments talking about, it was, I don't know if you guys remember Mr. Dominic Myro, Myro. I can get his name wrong all the time. But anyway, I was interviewing him. We was talking about something about the Marine Kingdom, and if you know anything about spiritual matters, you'll just have to go back and look at it if you're interested. But anyway, this one person says, "This woman's not even saved. Why would you be on her platform?" Well, from my understanding, Jesus came to save the lost, so that would include me, you, and everybody else in the world. I think these people are weird. I don't know if these people are trolling or what, but these people are very strange out here. I can't stand. This is another reason why people in the church be so depressed, because they are surrounded around a whole bunch of religious people, or religious zealots, Pharisees and Sadducees. They trying to go by the law and be so strict when they the same ones, you know, that go around here penalizing other people for feeling away. You know, the last time I checked, nobody walks on water. You know, nobody is perfect in this world. Some of us are striving to be mature and striving to be decent people. Then you got the nerd. Then you got some people that don't have any business judging nobody because they are just hella foul. But well, she's supposed to be theirs. She's supposed to be there. She shouldn't respond that way. So you get them idiots. So it's just like, either way you deal with people, sometimes you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. But one thing you should always be is true to yourself. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, realist. And sometimes you just can't worry about offending people, because to be honest with you, the people are always gonna find something to be offended by. But if you are true to yourself, you will come out a lot better, and you will be less depressed when you are true to yourself and you're not being fake with yourself. See, the man in the mirror is the person that you need to be real with the most. That man and that woman in the mirror. Other people is secondary. But you, if you're lying to yourself about yourself, you got bigger problems than you think. So I don't know about you, but when I started learning to be real with myself and I stopped lying to myself about stuff, I came out less depressed and more happier. That's just my opinion. You said the way I look at it is, if it's meant for them, if it's not, it's not. Right. I always say, if it don't apply, let it fly. If I'm not talking to you, don't apply it. But so many people got guilty conscience and they know they be doing stuff. They already, oh, she talking about me. Oh, well, I'm talking about you. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, and sometimes you'll call people out, but sometimes, like I said, you don't even be thinking about certain people. You're just talking about life and how you see it and some of the things you've experienced or seen other people experience. And I already people be in their feelings, thinking you talking about them, and you ain't even a thought. Like, they ain't even a thought in your mind. But that's what a guilty conscience, a hit dog holler. That's all I can say. So you if you like I say, if you gonna look at trying to be a happier person, you better try to not keep lying to yourself, because that will definitely keep you in bondage. That will definitely keep you more and more depressed. I can tell you that. So, and thank you, Randy, for earlier. I appreciate you. And another person not in the chat, but he bless my cash app. I appreciate that for real. But yeah, I just wanted to touch bases with y'all and let y'all know, don't give up. And if you know somebody, or that's around you, that seems like everything is going well, but something's a little off about them, it probably is. They probably are not doing as good as they seem to be. And if you care enough about a person, you should probably ask and maybe be more active, or try to be active in their life. Because some people that's depressed, Sometimes they can isolate themselves where they don't want even the nicest or the most trustworthy person to talk to. They just want to be alone, period. So sometimes it's hard to reach people that are depressed. But at the same time, a depressed person or any person that's going through any type of mental health issues, they gotta want help too. It all starts back with being self-aware and taking accountability for it as well. It always goes back to that. You gotta want help too. That's the first step, wanting help, seeing the need of getting help. So I appreciate when I've had people to plant seeds in my life and actually made me want to keep going, because sometimes you just need a word. You just need somebody to see you. You know what I'm saying? You just need somebody to acknowledge you and to acknowledge your struggles, or to acknowledge how far they seen you come from, where you came from, and how far you have made it. One thing about being a human, besides wanting to be loved and respected, we want to be seen. I'm not always talking about physically. I'm just talking about more as emotionally. People want to feel connected to someone or something. They want to be known by something or someone. And when I say something, I mean maybe it could be God, or it could be a person that they love, or they have a lot of respect or in endearment for. We all want that. That's a part of being a human, and not like I be a alien. Now I don't know what aliens what they want, but I know for as a human, we all want to be loved, respected, and known by someone. So I hope that you guys, if you do have those issues, or if you do know someone, don't be afraid to admit it, you know, because even the strongest of us, we have our weak days. Um, and it's okay. If no one else told you, it's okay. That song by Tupac, keep your head up. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. And I always would say to the people that I love, keep your head up, my love. Don't give up. Sometimes you need to know that people are rooting for you. Even if you don't know people really, personally, I hope that any subscriber that is here for good intentions and here to support, I hope that you know that I'm rooting for you, even though I don't know you. I'm hoping the best for you. And I hope that you accomplish all your goals. And I hope that if you have some sad days, because you will have some sad days, that's a part of living, not to give up, because there's always going to be some good days. And your good is going to outweigh your bad. But if you give up too early, you'll never see those good days, you know? So I want to encourage people to not give up. Give yourself a fighting chance. You never know what good things can happen. Great opportunities can happen if you just give up. And don't allow your trauma, don't allow the bad things that happen to you make you feel like you're not worth anything. There's some people that feel like they're not worth anything, but if you are living, you have air in your lungs and your heart is beating, you are here because you're supposed to be here for this time. And you are worth more than what you think. You just have to get to the point where you start to believe it about yourself. That's why I said start working on your goals. Start working on the things that you want to see your life, and that will enhance your life. And you will see how intelligent you are, how gifted you are. Because some of us have gift and talents we haven't even tapped into. And when you start to really focus more on improving your life, you will start to see the quality of your life. You will see how people are drawn to you. You'll have people that are jealous of you because of people that are drawn to you, but they don't know what you've been through for that to actually happen. And what I mean by that, sometimes you have been through some situations, and those life situations, those life lessons have taught you to be humble, have taught you to know how to deal with people, how to talk to people, have taught you how to appreciate life, have taught you to be more pleasant. And people are drawn to you. You'll have people that are jealous of you because people are drawn to you, but that's because you worked on yourself. And they can see, and people can see the light in you, especially when they're looking for a light. See, sometimes when you're in darkness, you're looking for someone to give you a light. Have you ever thought about a lighthouse? Like, if you ever been to an ocean, and in certain areas they might have a lighthouse, and that lighthouse, when it gets dark and there's no other lights that's on and around, that lighthouse lights up where you can see things that's going on around the shore because of that lighthouse. And some people are drawn to that lighthouse because that light is big, it's wide, it's for people to see. That's the light in the darkness. So some people are drawn to you because they see that light in you, and they looking just for a little bit of it because they're so used to funneling around in the dark. You can be that lighthouse for people. You probably are that lighthouse for people. And that's probably why you have gained so much um, jealousy and envy, because some of the people that want that light or want to have that light, they're so filled up with darkness. They want what you got, but they don't want to go with what you've been through. They don't want to improve themselves. They don't want to take accountability and stop being delusional about their behavior. So when people start taking accountability and stop being delusional about their behavior, and stop feeding on their own negativity, and start learning to work on self improvement, work on being real with themselves and being real with the man and the woman in the mirror, they can be that lighthouse. And people will be drawn to you for the good reasons, not because of so much how you look. So I hope that you guys get that. Um, like I said, I didn't plan to go an hour, but I felt like this needed to be said because of the things that I seen and heard, and the things that I have even been through, that you got to give yourself a fighting chance and not give up. The worst thing you could do is to give up on yourself. The worst thing you could do is to see that you're not valuable enough to make it. You're not worth anything. Life has a way, well, I'm going to say people sometimes have a way of making you feel like you ain't nothing, like you're trash. But that's just really a lot of projection. and deflection off of them. That's really what they think about themselves, so they want to make other people feel that way. But that's not who you are. You don't have to be what people are calling you. You don't have to play into being the victim. You don't have to. In this life, it's about free will. We can stay depressed. We can stay not accomplishing our goals. We can stay blaming other people. We can stay mad and angry. We can stay unforgiving. But at the end of the day, it only hurts you. It doesn't hurt the other people. You're going to have days where you're not going to be feeling good about life. That's a part of life. That's a part of being a human. That's the human experience. The problem, like I always say, is staying there. That's the problem. So, right, realists, they're dealing with their own insecurities and they're projecting it onto other people. And it's a shame when you get old, you get 40, 50, 60, and you still don't get it. You still don't get that you're projecting your insecurities on other people. And some of the, like I said, some of the same people, they come off like they got it all together, like they the bad bee, like they the realest, ninja, and they out here they got a whole bunch of motion and all that. They be the main people that be so depressed. They really don't want to be here, but they got to fake and shake and smile and talk loud and talk rough, looking all crazy, just to prove to other people that they got it. They got it like that. They got it together. I'm like, child, you ain't fooling nobody but a dummy. And I's no dummy. A lot of times I be seeing stuff, I don't be speaking on it because I really just don't have the time to be going back and forth with nobody on this app. I done did that a couple of times and it ain't worth it. After a good cussing out, it may make you feel good for the temporary, but really, to be honest with you, you wasted your time and energy on a fool. So, sometimes you just have to just sit back, and we'll see what's going on. But yeah, these folks, they just right eyes. You can't. Unfortunately, sometimes you can see things on people even if you pay attention to their eyes. Like when they talk and if they cam up, you can pay attention, see how people be their energy and what they don't say. A lot of times, do you know we have a lot of I would say nonverbal communication going on. We're not aware of it. Like most people can see because it's nonverbal that if I'm kind of pissed off, I'm not saying it, but you can tell if I'm feeling away, right? Or you can tell if I'm uncomfortable. You could tell if it could be anything. You can tell by people's facial expression, their eyes, and how they move their mouth, and what they do with their shoulders and things like that. It's a part of body language. So people be a whole fraud, acting like they got it like that, and they really don't. I don't got it like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, so I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't got it like that, and I'm not where I want to be financially. I'm not where I want to be even at times spiritually or emotionally. Some days you play into the foolishness and you get emotional about stuff that you shouldn't be. Some of the people, like I said, consider the source. Some of the things that people say and do, you got to consider the source. Is it worth your time? Most of the time, absolutely not. But we get so emotionally tied and stuff that we shouldn't. And here we go responding. Now, I'm not saying some things you shouldn't respond to, because there's some things you should respond to. Because some people be doing too much, you know. And you have to tell them, some things you just have to say. But some things, when you get too emotional and stuff, and you get like, you allow these people to pull your emotions like a puppet, that's when it becomes a problem. That means you're not being emotionally intelligent. You're not really being a self-aware, and you're not looking at the situation for what it is. Most of the time, people that deal with rejection or abandonment, they just want a reaction out of you. They just want to know that you see them or you hear them. That's really what that is. And if I'm not thinking clearly, I don't care nothing about it. I just want to respond and tell your butt off. I'm not worried about that, but that's really what that is. It's more and more people that I find out that deal with a lot of rejection and abandonment issues, and they go to different things, different vices. Like, I would say, sometimes social media could be a vice, where they could go to those type of things so that they can be seen and known, and if and feel like they're important or feel like they're powerful. So you got a lot of that going on here. Some people are in real life, they don't got that much traction, and they know it, but they ain't gonna let you know that. They're gonna let you know, they gonna let you know, oh, I got it all together. I'm the king, I'm the queen, I'm the bad bee, you know, dancing in the in the camera and all this weird stuff. Just doing weird things because they want to be known and seen. Now, to an extent, don't nobody that's a content creator or don't nobody in social media not want to be seen to an extent. Now, that's stupid to think that nobody, you got to be seen to an extent. But the lengths that people go through to be known and to be seen, that is a bigger issue. That's something that you didn't get at home. So that's just what I see on it. But hey, what do I know? But guys, I love you to Reese's Pieces. Again, I hope that you guys accomplish whatever you're setting out to accomplish. I hope the best for your guys' life. I honestly do, even if I don't have to know you. Um, but I do want you guys to hopefully, like I said, even if this is not for you, it may be for somebody that you know. It may be for somebody that you have been walking past every day at work, or walking past even in your own home. Some of the people that live under your same roof, including you, might be depressed. All I can tell you is don't give up. Don't give up. You'll never see the opportunities that you have ahead of you if you give up so quickly. And I don't care if you're 50, 60 years old, and you're still waiting, you're still progressing, you're trying to work on certain things in your life. Do not give up on yourself. Give yourself a fighting chance. Um, the biggest loser is the person that doesn't even try. That's the biggest loser. You gotta want to try. You gotta want more out of life. You gotta want to be a decent person. You're never too old to learn. You're never too old to keep pushing and trying. The only time it's too late for you, like I said, is when you stop breathing. So I hope that I encouraged somebody today, or gave somebody another perspective. My goal is not to offend people, but it's actually to help people. So if you take it offensively, that's your problem. It's not mine, because that's definitely not my goal. That's another thing you learn as you get older. Stop taking on people's offenses as your own. Like, some people are just going to be mad. Some people are just going to be offended because that's they work in offense. They just that type of person. Nothing you will do will ever satisfy them. They will always be offended. So those type of people I can't help, don't want to help, because they don't want it. So my goal is not to offend. My goal is to be thought provoking. Is to give people knowledge. Is to encourage people. Um, it is basically to just be real with people. Because I don't know about you, but lying to yourself will eventually catch up with you. Um, and it always comes to bite you in the butt. So, and real will find you out. I'm not talking about those people that say they real and that they can see through BS when they full of BS. I'm talking about people that have worked on themselves, people that have acknowledged their issues, people that see themselves and not delusional on who they are. I'm talking about those people that can see through the foolishness. They can see through the fakery. Okay? Those people. So y'all be blessed. Thank you, IB. I'm glad that it helped you. I really am. I pray that anybody that comes in to listen to this and like I said, listen with good intentions and not trying to see what she talking about. She talking about somebody. Hope you press the like button. Like I said, we just have a. I'm here for the people that I'm here for. I'm not here for everybody. Everybody's not my cup of tea, and I'm not everybody's cup of tea. So I know that, and I acknowledge that. So it is what it is, you know. But love y'all to Reese's Pieces. Y'all have a good night. And again, I probably will be back on Tuesday. I will be talking about Richard, I think Monet. No, I'm not going. Moray, I think it's something like that. I gotta go back. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, y'all. So forgive me for butchering the man's name. But anyway, I will be talking about that that person. I mean, the author. He's an author as well, and he was an elitist. And that's going to be on my other channel. But I think I might do a Selena's Couch. I don't know if I should do one tomorrow or another day. But definitely, guys, check me out. But like I said, it is 2 o'clock, so forgive me for um, mispronouncing the man's name, the author. Yeah, but he, like I said, he's very interesting. That's for sure. Thank you, 305. I appreciate that. That's my goal to let you guys know y'all not alone out here. You got real issues. I got real issues. Hell, we all in this together trying to make it, and that's just the bottom line. And nobody is even the people that think they reached to up, a high status. They struggling too, internally. And sometimes struggling internally sometimes to me is worse than externally. You can always find a job and make some money, but sometimes internally when you messed up and you in a rut, it's hard to get out of it. It is hard to get out of. So I appreciate you for saying that, you and IB and whoever else that got something from this. And even if you didn't get something from this, maybe you will learn how to kind of deal with people a little differently too. Because like I say, people that look good and like they got it all together, that don't necessarily mean that's the case. They could be wanting to go that same night and when they get home and blow their brains out. And that's a little graphic, but it's true. You ever wondered why so many celebrities? I mean, sometimes it could be a sacrificial death, but sometimes it's because a person is tired. They're tired of living. Things have become more of a burden than a blessing for them. So don't let people's looks fool you. I'll just say that. People going through some real emotional turmoil. So y'all be blessed, and I'll talk to y'all later. And have a great Monday morning for those who are even at work, or you're about to get up and start your day off, going to work. Y'all be blessed, and be safe, and like I said, be introspective about what's going on with you, and take your time, but don't take too much time being in the rut. Um, Acknowledge what you're going through and strategize how you can get out of it, and seek help if that's what you need to do too. Seek some help mentally, because not all, I don't know too many people that have it all together. I just don't. Even those that are financially stable, they don't have it all together. So y'all be blessed. Love you to Reese's Pieces. Bye.